So I'm not gonna bore you with a bunch of engine harness information, but there's very specific plugs and fuses that allow this chassis to get power. And just to update you guys real quick, it's gonna be this 75 amp fuse right here. This is what's gonna allow your alternator to get power. We checked, this is getting no power, but the fuse isn't burnt and neither is the relay. And we checked all the wiring, everything seems to be fine. We're getting power to the starter, just not to the alternator. And the battery's fine. This battery actually from the Z. So we know this thing works just fine. Now we're power probing the whole entire wiring harness. We're trying to figure out where it's not getting power to, and just to make things simple, these white wires right here allow this whole entire chassis to get power. Months of research and talking to people and all this just head scratching nonsense just to get to the point to where I just found someone who was willing to let me bother him, and I'm gonna shout him out right now. Thank you, David Barba, for helping me out. I'm gonna put his Instagram down in the description below because he posts some awesome content and he's a great driver and he's helping your boy out with the 240. We came to the conclusion that after following all these white wires and bullshit, we found that these two plugs right here have no place to go to. And these are two white thick wires. So these have to be connected to the positive terminal. Obviously the positive terminal has nothing to allow these to plug into. I forget whether this engine harness is from the previous chassis or it's from this chassis that I picked up. Regardless of, we got to figure out where we can run these two wires, and my best bet is just to get a ring terminal and just tap it to this power terminal. I know what you're saying, 9 months, and it could be that easy. I'd be really pissed if that was the case, but just to let you guys know, I've had zero sign of power in this car whatsoever. I'll go ahead, I'll turn the key, I have the dash hooked up, I got everything hooked up. There's not a light or a noise or anything, a click in sight. We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna get some ring terminals, we're gonna attach it to the positive terminal and finally see if we could bring this 240 to life. So you guys see I did a much better job than what I thought I was gonna do. I actually picked this up from AutoZone. It's like a multi-piece terminal for the positive terminal. So you got the positive wire from the starter going to one of these. I think these are the power cables to the alternator, so we ran these in as well and they're all tight, they ain't coming off. So we're gonna run this power cable, hook up our ground, and hopefully we have power to the rest of the chassis. All right, it's tight enough. All right, so our problem is, as you see this like bird's nest of wiring, this is actually all connected correctly, believe it or not. Our issue is no matter what, whenever we plug into the key into the ignition, we get absolutely no lights on the dash. Wait a second. Is that a light? Is that a light? Oh my God, that's a light. Do I have power? If this fuel pump primes, I'm gonna freak out. Oh my God, there's power in the 240. I'm literally getting engine oil right now. We're gonna start this thing. Before I start jibber jabbering on about the fact on how excited I am that this thing finally got power, I just want to explain to you guys that I've been dealing with electrical issues for this thing for about 8 months. And I know it just seems like we just put two wires to the positive terminal, even though that is kind of all we did. I've been picking this thing apart, replacing fuses, testing different wires, replacing batteries, all these different things, just to find out that it's two wires that had to be connected to the positive terminal. We're gonna go get some engine oil for this. We're hopefully gonna get the first start. There's absolutely no coolant in the car, so we gotta pick that up too, but wow. Legit completely empty. This is dry as a bone. The tip is wet. That's what she said. This thing is probably brand new, honestly. Yep. Brand fucking new. The oil that was in there was literally brand new. Well, that makes me feel good about my financial decisions. You guys might think I'm crazy or stupid, but I'm reusing this fucking oil filter. This thing is in legit shape. I don't care what y'all tell me. Alright, so I just noticed I broke this little overflow nozzle off. So before starting the car, I'm just going to go ahead and thread seal this real quick with some Teflon tape and then throw it back on the radiator.
You got a leak?
Somewhere. Yeah. Alright, now, completely my fault because I forgot that I did an EGR delete. Now, children, for those of you that don't understand what an EGR delete is, basically we pass the exhaust gases from the exhaust manifold over back into the intake manifold. Why would you do such a stupid thing? It's not my fault, it's Nissan's fault. They decided that that was the way that it should be because emissions purposes. We took that off. A lot of holes are open. We patched up most of them, forgot to patch up the rest of them. There's a mix between like fuel pressure regulator hoses and vacuum hoses and coolant hoses, and we all gotta bypass those. Basically, I got a bunch of caps and stuff from AutoZone that we're gonna go ahead and use, and then we got some like fuel pressure regulator hose. It's so tiny, I'll show you guys on the back end. There was actually this small little hose end. I didn't know where it went to, now I do. And brake booster hose. I completely forgot about the brake booster. Not that we're gonna be like driving the car anytime soon, but let's get it done now before we forget. Since we're gonna be working on this car a little bit more. Now, the radiator, oh, hold on. The radiator just came in for the Q50. Now, we're gonna go ahead and most likely install that tomorrow. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna have the 240 in a spot where I'd particularly like to be working on it. Being in the grass is just not the most ideal. Gotta put the test pipe from the header down to the exhaust, and we gotta plug up the O2 sensor, I think. Let's go get this 240 at least started. I don't even care if there's not an exhaust on it. I at least wanna get it started. And then I'll know that we could push it in and out of the driveway if we need to. And then we could go ahead and work on the Q, get that done, work on the 240. So, if I was smart, I would have had and did this outside of the engine, so there's that. This is basically another coolant bypass that we did for the EGR delete system. As you see, coolant went through here, through the heater core, so we don't have heat in the car, but we live in Florida, so like you guys see on this other side, no RTV. So yeah, that was not making a nice seal. We're gonna have to go ahead, put some silicone on there, let it dry for a little bit, and most likely wait till tomorrow to start the car. But I'm just here to say, if you guys do enjoy this 240 content, make sure to put it down in the comment section below. I know a lot of you people are here for my Q, I know a lot of you people are here for my Z, and to bring a 240 onto the channel finally is something I've been wanting to do for a long time. So like I said, if you guys enjoy the content, please make sure to put it down in the comment section below. Also show your love and make sure to hit that like button, and if you guys are new, make sure to subscribe to the channel. My name is Double R. Enjoy the rest of the video. I'm going to bed.